about? We are here with another travel video with some travel tips and reviews for you to be able to help you on your next travel experience. I am Anna.
Wale.
And we are happy to be able today to bring to you the video about the Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas. Woo!
Let's go.
So guys, a little while back we did go on this cruise, and this was my second cruise I've ever been on. This was your second cruise, right?
Yeah, second.
Yeah, and we had a really amazing time. It was so fun and so much to do, so let's just jump right into it. So the first thing is that we did do the Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas. Now, all cruise lines have different boats, different ships, okay? This is really important to note because each ship has a different feel. So Royal Caribbean, they do have the Independence of the Seas, and it was a really fun boat. It was more family oriented, so be sure to expect a lot of children and a lot of people on them. And we went in the fall, in October, end of October. So it was, what, 5 days, 4 nights?
Yeah.
With that being said, it wasn't a super long cruise, but just enough time where a lot of people do opt to getting in those cruises.
We actually flew into Orlando. We got picked up by the bus. The bus drove us to where the ship was. We checked in, and it was smooth sailing from there. It was a great experience as soon as we got inside, welcoming. My first time actually traveling with Royal Caribbean. They have really good service, I would say.
Yeah, and definitely with Royal Caribbean, definitely price is a factor when you're choosing which cruise you want to go on and which ship that you want to choose. So like he said, we did have to fly into Orlando, so I think that probably was about $300 or so per person, and then you actually have to pay for the bus to bring you to the cruise ship, so that was an additional cost. And then we paid about $1,400 collectively for the stay itself. So that was about, let's just say like 800, 300, oh, 1,200, 1,500 per person.
Yeah,
I'm not good at math, guys, sorry. But the thing is that that's not a terrible price in hindsight, but something to definitely pay attention to is that when you're on the cruise, your cost and your bill can rack up really quickly. Yeah. So there were some drinks, like our food was included. So breakfast and dinner and lunch we didn't have to worry about, but there were some drinks that we did have to buy. I think our alcoholic beverages we had to buy. And then also too, something to pay attention to is that they do not have irons and stuff in the room. So we have, in order for us to iron our clothes and make sure we weren't walking around wrinkled or anything like that, we actually had to pay for them to steam our clothes, and that was an additional cost too. So something to note is that when you are going on a cruise, the price can rack up a lot, where you didn't pay as much for the cruise itself, but by the end of the cruise you would have dished out a lot of money.
So guys, just make sure you pay attention to those additional charges that can sneak up on you while you are actually experiencing this cruise. Now let's talk about the cruise itself. Royal Caribbean is a widely known cruise chain. They actually do travel to numerous locations in the Caribbean area. Our location was the Bahamas. We actually stopped at 2 different sites. So the cruise itself was phenomenal. This is actually my first time. Was it your first time actually traveling Royal Caribbean?
I think so. I don't remember what my first cruise was, to be honest.
Okay, she's been on too many vacations, so she probably doesn't remember, but it's all right. So for myself, it was the first time traveling Royal Caribbean. I've heard great things before, but actually experiencing it for firsthand is totally different. It was very welcoming once we first got on the boat. We got to our room. It was, huge cruise, tons of things to do, nightly activities, dining, casinos, rooftop near the pool. You can watch a movie in the jacuzzi. It was pretty comfortable, I would say. We didn't experience too much crazy weather. Get into our destinations, it didn't rain much. Weather was pretty nice, knowing the fact that when you're at sea, anything could happen. Yeah. So we experienced some really good things. The spa was also, available. They had a game area, depending on if you're going with family or if you're going with, your significant other. I think it would be a well-rounded experience on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think that's one thing I really enjoy about cruises is that it has everything in one. It's like whatever you want, they have it there. You want an ice cream shop, they have it there. You want a disco party, they have it there. Like whatever you want to eat, they have it there. They have shopping there. You want to buy an engagement ring, they have it there. Like whatever you want to do, it is on the ship. And I know people have a fear of being on water. So I definitely think a cruise is something you should knock off your bucket list at least once. But definitely, it really is an all-in-one. I don't think there's anything that you could possibly need that they won't have. They had zip lining there. You could play basketball. I mean, everything was there.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
You did not get bored at sea. I can tell you that much.
I would give it a 5 out of 5 for inclusivity for everything that they had included. So let's dive into the food next.
So, food, as she mentioned, everything was included for us except for the drinks in our package. So, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There were quite a few dining options available. We did have to leave the room on most occasions. We did not have room service. I don't know if there's any cruises that do have room service, and if they do, you guys can definitely put them in the comments below so we can get our community onto getting onto those cruises and for ourselves as well. But our cruise didn't specifically have room service.
So with the food, one thing to note as well, like we said before, we did have to pay for our alcoholic beverages, but for dinner, we did have to make reservations each night. I think you could get in there without making a reservation, but you would just have to wait. And with so many people on the boat, it's just something that you definitely don't want to have to do. So we definitely made reservations, and then they would have your room number. And the cool thing is you get to meet a lot of people because it is such a intimate kind of environment. You're literally right next to people. So we did meet some cool people while we were at dinner. I absolutely loved lunch, y'all. Almost every day for lunch, I was racking up on fish and chips because it was busting. Like, that was my favorite thing to eat while we were on that boat. Like, every day I was getting fish and chips. At one of their lunch restaurants, like, on the actual, deck where all the pools and stuff were. Because you're by the water, you're eating, they bring you the drinks and stuff. One thing I will say, though, because it's so many people, they would kind of forget things, kind of like your drink, or you would have to wait a very long time, at least for the lunch part. But dinner was really good. I would give it food 5 out of 5. What would you give the food there?
Yeah, the food was really good. I would probably give it maybe 4.5 out of 5. And the only reason why I give it that is because of the portions. I wish there were just larger portions that they were giving us, and I think with it being included in the package, they might have given you just enough to hold you over as far as the lunch is concerned. But other than that, dinner was great, breakfast was great. Overall, the food was pretty amazing.
Yeah. So the next thing we'll talk about is activities. So like we said before, everything you need, everything you want is on a cruise ship. It's just like having everything at your hands. Unfortunately, you won't be able to experience everything because there's just so much to do. But one thing that I really loved was their Greece show. They did a show on Greece, and I love Greece, so that was absolutely amazing. But they had a disco party. They had another party just on the deck. They was playing music. They had live music, live shows. It was just always something going on. The activities were absolutely amazing. I had no complaints on that. What do you think about the activities? No,
I love the activities. They also had a comedy show that was improv. So anybody who wanted to get up and shoot some jokes. It was pretty funny. Everybody was having a great time. So yeah, activities are really dope.
Yeah, 5 out of 5 on activities. Another thing I would say is the videos that y'all see on Instagram and TikTok of people just having a great time, dancing on the deck. That is totally what happens. They even have little games they play by the pool for kids and adults. They did belly flopping and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's like for a big kid experience, it's like Disney World on water, pretty much.
Absolutely. So guys, overall, I would definitely say that this was definitely an experience of cruises that we've been on. We're not the big cruise fanatics. Maybe somebody else out there is, but for our first time being on this cruise line, it was an amazing experience. We definitely do thank the staff for being as good as they were for us. It was my birthday celebration as well, so they didn't forget me. They brought me a nice little chocolate cake to celebrate, and I think this wonderful woman here for setting that up for me. And overall, guys, we highly recommend, if you wanted to go on a cruise like this, to definitely put in a request, and we can definitely make that possible for you. Don't forget to follow us here on our social media platforms, our Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share. Do not miss our next video and what we have to bring when it comes to our travel experiences, tips, and everything we can offer you guys. So until next time, we guys will see you on the beaches of the world. Peace.